Daddy, that ball blank is almost as big as your belly bulge.
Look at the size of this blank. I don't know how to turn a bowl out of it or make it into a Neolithic ox cart. This enormous sycamore blank is 22 inches across and 4 inches deep, and was sent to me by Record Power from Stiles and Bates to demonstrate the outrigger on the Coronet Regent lathe, because obviously this is far too big to turn over the bed, so we're going to swing the headstock and use the outrigger. For something like this, which is very, very heavy, and there's a lot of force on this when it's spinning, we're going to need to attach it with a big faceplate. So I'm going to use this 6-inch faceplate, and when we turn it round, I'm going to mount it on the SC4 chuck with the big 125mm jaws. Well, it's mounted on the lathe. I've put the outrigger around it. Control panel is right there, easy to get hold of. I've done up the grub screws on the faceplate because the momentum of this, because this is a braked lathe, it's going to carry on and unwind itself if you're not careful. I've got plenty of weight on the lathe. I've put this toolbox on a shelf between the legs, and that's full of heavy metal bits, so that's going to keep plenty of weight on the lathe, because the moment you're turning off the side of the lathe you get a lot more vibration and wobble. There's so little space in this workshop, I'm having a job to fit the whole thing in. I start by shaping and truing up the outside or underside of the bowl. I'm using the Record Power 1/2-inch bowl gouge. I like to start with a 1/2-inch bowl gouge on a project like this because it's just got that extra bit of beef to it and a nice long handle. It's where it's not quite round yet, there's a little bit of thump to it. Just truing it up as I go, beginning to give it some shape and starting to define the foot on the bottom of the bowl. I don't often put a foot on the bottom of the bowl, but with this one I decided I wanted it to stand on a foot. So I'm creating a bit of a cove on the bottom. Just marking out the chuck recess here, so I keep in scale. Neatening up the base of the bowl. Defining the foot a bit more. I'll switch to a 3/8 bowl gouge here. I actually prefer a 3/8 bowl gouge for finishing. I prefer the cut it gives. It's a more efficient cut really on a 3/8 bowl gouge. And I'm just really taking my time with these final cuts. I don't want to cause any tear out or push the grain or bruise the grain, which is very easy to do on sycamore and very hard to get rid of once you do it. So constantly sharpening. Here I'm just hogging out the chuck recess. And then finishing with a bit of sanding. There's my random design, which I'm going to burn in lots and lots of dots. Pointillism. It took me long enough drawing the design on, so I think it's going to be rather a long job. Several hours, I think. Rather large elf in his workshop. I'm starting off by burning in the outlines of the shape, my sort of random pattern, using a series of little dots with my Peter Child pyrography kit. And what I will then do is fill in all the surrounding areas. And as predicted, this is going to take me hours. Well, that's my basic design burnt in. I'm now going to fill in all around these bubbles and spikes. with loads more dots. I thought this bit took me a long while, the rest is going to take me forever. I was going to decorate the inside of the bowl, but I think we'll just appreciate the natural beauty of the wood. What have I started? Ho hum. Lots more dots. It is taking forever. I have been at this for hours. We are winning. Got about a quarter. I've done about 3/4, about a quarter more to go. What on earth did I start this for? Well, I've finally finished the pattern after many hours. I've also put my brand on the bottom because I'm not sure how easy it is going to be. I'm probably going to finish this by hand with a wood carving chisel and some sandpaper because I don't think I've got any coal jaws big enough to reverse this. Anyway, I'm going to take it off the lathe now, take the faceplate off, turn it round and mount it on the SC4 chuck. Got a bit ahead of myself. I turned it round before I'd finished it. So I'm now putting several coats of spray cellulose sanding sealer onto the underside of the bowl. I'm doing it from the back. And I'm then going to use Yorkshire Grit, and then I'm going to use a new wax to finish it. Well, this is after 2 coats of sanding sealer and the Yorkshire Grit. You can see how beautiful that looks. It's come up really nice. That was using the standard Yorkshire Grit, the original Yorkshire Grit. I'm now going to try a new wax on this that I've not tried before. And that is this one from Yandles Essentials range, Woodturner's Diamond Gloss Wax Polish. So we're going to give that a go. Difficult for me to film this while I've got the bowl the wrong way round on the lathe, so I'll try and show it a bit better when I do the inside of the bowl once I've hollowed it. I can now start the hollowing process using a very sharp 3/8 bowl gouge here, and starting from the outside and rolling it into the centre. Nice push cuts, keeping the tools sharp. The shavings that come off get quite hot, so I've put a glove on here. Just be very careful if you're wearing a glove, you do not want it to get caught. You've got to be very careful with lathes and gloves. Again, some good shavings coming off. Just truing it up a little bit here so there's less wobble on it. Of course, we've got to have a slow-mo shot. Bit more hollowing. This took quite a long time to do in actual fact, and as you can see, this is very speeded up footage. Here I'm truing up the face and just defining the rim, deciding how thick I want the rim. Now going back to some hollowing. Just got to be so careful with sycamore. This is one of the woods that I try and avoid using scrapers. Even negative rake scraper, you can push the grain or cause tear out, and it can go quite deep. You can really struggle to sand it away. Just as I say, keeping the tools sharp. What you can end up with sycamore is you can get these little light bands travelling round, and it's where you've distorted the grain, where you've pushed the grain a bit. Another slow-mo shot for you there, bonus one. More hollowing. What I'm not showing here is the multiple trips back to the sharpener, just to make sure I keep a really keen edge on this gouge. I'm switching between a fingernail grind and a standard grind with a 60-degree bevel. Bit of power sanding, 2 coats of sanding sealer, then Yorkshire Grit, standard Yorkshire Grit, which I work really well. And now we're onto the Yandles Diamond Gloss Wax. And as you can see, once buffed away, that has given a fantastic result. Doing a bit of carving now, using a gouge with a wood carver's mallet, so wood carving gouge, just removing that chuck recess. Gives it a more professional look. Well, there it is, all carved away. I don't know if to sand it now or burn it. I think I might leave the raw carved edge because I quite like the scallop look of that. I'm just wondering if to sand this bottom bit or actually burn a design in here just to blend this transition. Out in the workshop with my pork pie hat on this time. The end of a long project. It took a long while to turn this, and I did it over a period of days as well, and it's a whopper. But you can see the design I've burnt around the side there. That took forever, but it is about 5.5 foot circumference, this bowl. I also hand carved away the chuck jaw recess and burnt another design on around that, a sort of a miniature version. I'll put some stills up at the end so you can get a closer look. But yeah, I'm pleased with the finish. Sycamore is tricky, tears out very easily, and you get these sort of bruise lines where you displace the grain if you're not careful. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm pleased with it. Very pleased with the new wax polish from Yandles. It's their Yandles Essentials Diamond Gloss Wax Polish. That worked really well, used in conjunction with the Yorkshire Grit. It's quite soft, it goes on really nicely and evenly, which is good, and buffs up very easily. So I've got a nice even finish even on this big bowl. Bigger bowls are always difficult. There you go, 21.5 inches it is roughly diameter, and it's Sycamore from Stiles and Bates. Biggest bowl I've ever turned. Bit of a challenge, but very enjoyable all the same. The outrigger on the Coronet Regent lathe worked brilliantly. Really pleased with that. And this the SC4 chuck with these massive jaws on, that was fantastic. Gripped it really well. Felt very secure the whole time. Loads of power in the lathe. Yeah, very pleased. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. It costs nothing to subscribe. A lot of my viewers aren't even subscribed. If you subscribe and hit the bell button, you'll be notified when I put up another video. Thank you very much for watching. Back soon with some more videos. And all that leaves me to do is to wish you all a very happy and safe Christmas. And I shall see you all again soon.
More rubbish coming soon. Please like, share and subscribe. My daddy needs all the help he can get.